On this episode of Vietnam and I, we welcome a very special guest and a close friend of Vietnam. He is a great leader of AIA Vietnam, and after 7 years living here, he published his first book called In the Land of Resilience as a love letter to our country. Who is he and what made him decide to come work in Vietnam? And what inspired our guest to write his book? Stay tuned to find out.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Vietnam and I on FBNC, and my name is Ian, your host. So today we're going to have a chance to meet one of our special guests. He's from New Zealand and he's now the CEO of AIA Vietnam. And under his leadership, AIA Vietnam has grown astronomically and also achieved a lot of impressive feats. However, the most admirable thing about the guest is his love for Vietnam. And in 2022, he published a book named In the Land of Resilience. And in this book, he detailed about his journey and also expressed his additional love for our country. And now, please join me in extending a warm welcome to our guest today, CEO of AIA Vietnam, Mr. Wayne Besant. A very good morning. Yes. Thank you so much for inviting me here, and especially the coffee is really good. And how are you so far?
Yeah, great. Yeah, having a good morning. Yeah. Thank you for coming along.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as far as I know that your Vietnamese is really good and doesn't stop only in speaking Vietnamese, even you can sing as well. So how about the song as a greeting to our audience?
Oh, okay. I only know a couple of songs, so I can just sing maybe a couple of lines. Because I'm here in Saigon, maybe I can just, we look at this one. Maybe I can just sing a couple of lines of Saigon Cafe Soda. Saigon Cafe Soda, Van Mai Nu Tây, I Wang He Chua. Saigon Hang Ke Geda, Van Ku Nu Tây, Ki Nang Ki Mua, Nang Sa Mua Chu.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And now let's backtrack a little bit. Probably in the year 2015 when you first came here. And you also shared in the books as well, which is like at the time that you got the job offer, you had to Google about Vietnam, never been here before. So what brought you here to Vietnam? What made you decide that, okay, I gotta move to Vietnam?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, because if you'd asked me some years ago, I'd be living in Vietnam, coming up 9 years, I would think that's a bit of a crazy idea. So I've always lived in New Zealand all my life, and Vietnam was part of a cluster of countries that my boss looked after, which included New Zealand. So when the opportunity came to come to Vietnam, he called me up and said, look, there's an opportunity to come here. And you're right, I didn't know, I kind of knew roughly where Vietnam was, but I didn't know exactly. So I was Googling the country as he was talking to me, and I saw this little S-shaped country on the map, and I said, look, let me, I've got 6 children, so I needed to have a family conference with all my kids, and they were all very supportive. So the next day, confirmed, and here I am.
Oh, so you saw the opportunities and the career path, and also maybe the life experience as well at that time, yeah?
Yeah, I think it was a combination of a whole lot of things. I've been working in New Zealand for a long time. I was running the New Zealand business for about 5 years, so a good opportunity to look at something different and experience something completely new.
Yeah, it's kind of getting out of comfort zone somehow, as I understand. Was it hard for you at the beginning to get adapted with the Vietnamese culture in here? Because I see that it's big gap, big difference between New Zealand culture and the local one here.
I just helped my 11-year-old son with a school speech project he was working on. And we did the speech on the differences between New Zealand and Vietnam. And it kind of hit home to me just how pronounced the differences are. Population, weather, food, culture, language, everything. And even in Vietnam, people drive on the other side of the street to New Zealand. We're on the right side. That's more the American system here. So I think New Zealanders are quite flexible people. So I think we have a good quality around flexibility and humility. So I think coming here, I I kind of thought I would just do my best. And Vietnam is a very easy country to live.
All right, it's interesting to hear that. And we mentioned about the book from the beginning, so let's spend a moment to go further than that. So in the book, when I first got it in hand, what came to my impression at the beginning, which is the title, In the Land of Resilience. And can you share a little bit the reason why you chose the title for the book?
So I've got a history major. Tôi took lịch sử đặc biệt, lịch sử Việt Nam. So I like history. I've studied a lot about Vietnam history. What I've found, and there are many similarities between New Zealanders and Vietnamese. The love of family, the working hard ethic, making things out of nothing. So I think there's a lot of similarities between New Zealanders and Vietnamese. I think the one thing that I see, and I think it's forged by the history of this country, it's forged by the many occupations and war. There is this kiên cường, this resilience factor that's very unique in Vietnamese. I see it every time I travel around Vietnam, you know, not just in Miền Trung, up north, and Miền Nam as well. I see this resilience factor. So that's where the idea came for the title of the book, because I think this is a very unique trait of Vietnamese people.
Cool. Impressive. And thanks for the compliment for Vietnamese culture and also the history as well. So this book was launched in 2022, almost 2 years now, because now it's coming to the end of 2023. So how do you feel about its reception so far?
Yeah, the book is an interesting one. So I've got to say, I've got a great marketing team. Lin Phương, who heads up the team there, she came to me with this idea of writing a book. And I said no a couple of times because I didn't actually think that many people would be interested. Then with COVID, I think there's a bit of time. We had a little bit more time at home and coming into the office, you know, so I started to think about different things to write about. Things a bit about the company, but also some personal stuff about, there's a chapter on my mum. So like all Vietnamese, mums are the most important people in the world, where they work really hard and they do many things. So I write about my mum and all the sacrifices and the commitment and the work ethic that she instilled with me as well. So with the book, what I'm very proud about, that seems to, there's been a lot of copies sold, which is excellent. And the proceeds go to a girls' home, a girls' orphanage here in Ho Chi Minh, Ba Chiu, which has a New Zealand connection, which I'm also proud about because it was started by an ex-consul general back some 20 plus years ago, Miss Celia Coe, who's a famous lady in New Zealand, but a famous lady here in Vietnam as well. And so all the proceeds go to help the girls, you know, develop and do well in life. And having been a regular visitor to the girls' home, it's great to see the girls developing, and they go off and they go to university, and they progress in their lives from a very tough start that they've had in their lives. So I'm also proud of the fact that the book's helping kids get on in Vietnam as well.
Yeah, I'm happy too when I hear that. And thanks for your contribution, and also the contribution from your team as well to the development in Vietnam, especially to the girls in the orphanage. And also when I opened that and read it through, one more thing which has noticed me a lot, which is the number of the provinces that you travel throughout Vietnam. I believe that, as I remember, it's not my mistake, it's 53. Yep, 53 provinces.
Right.
I will not ask you to name one of that, but would you like to join that in a game?
Sure.
We're going to take turns to name the provinces. The rule is very straightforward. And whoever needs more than 5 seconds to give out the correct answer, the other one will be the winner.
Wins a point.
Is it okay? Do you need time to get prepared? Or
I'm ready to go.
Okay, ready? Maybe I need time for me as well.
Ho Chi Minh City, Dom Tháp,
Hanoi,
Bắc Ninh,
Da Nang.
Hanoi.
I'm sorry?
Da Nang, you want a province close to Da Nang?
I'm sorry about that. Quang Nam.
Quang Nam province. Quang Nam, which includes Tam Kỳ, right? Quang Nai.
Yes.
Quang Nai.
Quang Tri.
Quang Tri. Quang Binh.
Quang Ninh.
Ooh, Quang Tích. Hưng Yên.
Thái Bình.
Ooh, Hà Giang.
Bắc Cạn.
You're very good. I'm going to move from miền Bắc and come down further south.
To you.
Vĩnh Long.
An Giang.
Bến Tre.
Cần Thơ.
Mỹ Tho.
Cà Mau.
Ooh, very good. Bạc Liêu.
Bắc Giang.
Phú Quốc.
Phú Thọ.
Con Đảo.
I'm sorry, Phú Quốc is the name of the... No, it's not the name of it.
It's the island. Right, so it's An Giang, right? So you're actually very good, Masin. You're very good at the provinces.
No, really. Nam Định.
Nam Định.
Nam Định. D.
Nam Định.
Delta,
Yeah, right.
Nam Định in China.
Yeah.
Is the watch still running? Is the watch still running?
Nam Định. What's the beautiful province next to Nam Định?
It would be my next answer.
Yeah. I know Nam Định very well. Hải Phòng.
Bình Dương.
Bình Dương. Hải Dương.
Bình Định.
Bình Định, Quy Nhơn. Yeah. Gia Lai.
Con Tum.
Đắk Lắk.
Đắk Nông.
Actually, I'm quite surprised. She said that she didn't travel much and, didn't been to many provinces. But have you got a history major?
I know finance and banking and aviation.
Well, I think you've flown over a lot of provinces here. Very good.
Anyway, congratulations to both of us. Yeah. And you amaze me as well, not all about the ability to remember the name of the provinces and even the pronunciation. Your Vietnamese is really good.
Yeah.
So with that long-term memory, would you like to share any experience that you had throughout the journey to 53 provinces, and maybe the number is getting higher now? Would you like to share with us and our audience?
Yeah, well, look, what I've found traveling around Vietnam, and this is what I like, khác biệt, miền Bắc, miền Trung, miền Nam, everything is quite different. So when I go to a province, the food is different. Sometimes the pronunciation, the dialect is different. Now I know, if someone's from the north or south, I can tell pretty much straight away where people are from. So I like that contrast, which doesn't happen in every country. So Vietnam's very much, a country of made up of different things. Diversity, which I really like. If I look at the central part of the country in particular, the middle part of the country, it's probably where this Kin Kuong really resonates for me. And I see places like Quang Binh, Quang Chi, Dom Ha, Dom Hoi, very people that have had a lot of struggle, particularly during the wartime and during the, a lot of natural disasters, a lot of things that happen in the central part. And then you contrast that, which I think happens a lot in Vietnam. You have the struggle part, the tough part, then you have something that's very beautiful that comes from that. So if I think about Quang Binh, I think about Son Dom Caves, which I was lucky enough to spend some time. I write a bit about it in the book. Beautiful part of, natural part of Vietnam, and very privileged to be able to spend that time in Son Dom. So during the American War, there's very tough for the people in those parts of Vietnam, but there's always an inner beauty that exists in every province that I go to.
You make me very surprised because you spend time to study and to get to know about the cultural diversity, and even the cuisine, right? You mentioned about the food flavor as well, and also the history. So apart from the cultural difference and the landscape as well, and as we can see now, the Vietnamese tourism industry is like booming a lot recently, except the years of COVID-19 pandemic. So what do you think are the main reason that Vietnam can attract a lot of people to come and visit like that?
I think there's a lot of opportunity in Vietnam. It's 100 million population. There's a lot of people working very, very hard here in Vietnam. I think tourism is a big part of the attraction for many people to come to Vietnam. I think the opportunity, not just on the tourism sector, but some of that adventure tourism as well. We talked about the caves, beautiful rivers, Mekong, but also up north as well. Obviously Halong Bay and places like that are beautiful. So I think there's the whole tourism ecosystem that we can do more in attracting more countries to come to Vietnam, whether that's through travel, getting more flights coming in, and we're seeing a lot more of that opening up now. I think the other part is the commercial opportunities in Vietnam. So we see a lot more multinational companies coming to Vietnam. They can see the opportunity, the demographics, the large population, the rising middle class, the work ethic of people here. So we see a lot of, and we know there's a lot of countries already set up a lot of the operations in Vietnam, like Samsung and the like. But I think there's a real opportunity for more of that investment into Vietnam. I think that's going to be a big catalyst for future growth in Vietnam as well.
Thank you so much for sharing related with tourism and also the business opportunity that people can get to know about Vietnam. Okay, so you just mentioned, and also in the book as well, which is you are a sport guy. Yeah. Can you share with me any kind of sport that you play in New Zealand and you can do the same in Vietnam? Or is it convenient for you to play sport in here?
Sure. I love sport, and I like sport because it's very similar to business. You know, you train hard, you practice, like work, you focus on things, you have a strategy. Yeah. In a team game, you're relying on other people to do their part, sure, to make things happen like you do at work. Sometimes things don't go the way you want it to, so you have to change your plan, change your strategy. So I like that analogy. I think also for us here, we encourage our people to keep active, not just fitness, but mentally, and making sure that you have some good balance, not just all about work, but also your physical and mental well-being as well. So I like the sport part. I think for Vietnam, that's the opportunity with, I mentioned Sundom earlier, all the outdoor activity in Vietnam, the caving, the trekking. There's so many beautiful places in Vietnam to go. So I like the sport. It's so easy to apply that in Vietnam. In Ho Chi Minh here, I play tennis 2 times a week. I do boxing, I do other things here as well. So all of the sport is accessible in Vietnam.
Cool. It's good to know that. And thank you so much for your sharing so far, which is related to your personal life and personal experience. And now let's move on to the part related to AIA Vietnam, yeah?
Sure.
So what was your initial thoughts at the time that you got the job offer about AIA Vietnam? Or maybe I can rephrase my question. How was the company operated before 2015?
Right. AIA, we're part of a very big, group, a big company, largest life insurance company in the world, but we're just focused in Asia. So we're not in Europe, we're not in North America like, many other insurance companies. So we just focus on Asia, and we've been around for well over 100 years now, 103 years. So we have a great culture in AIA where we focus on the local team being empowered to focus on the things that are right for that country. Because coming from New Zealand, the market's a lot different to Vietnam. So we rely on the local team with the support of a big company, a big head office based in Asia to support the growth aspirations of every country in the group. So when I came here in 2015, the business was well set up. We'd been operating since the industry started around 23 years ago. One of the first companies in Vietnam to start in the bohem industry. And as the market has grown, and there's been some challenges along the way, as you always have, the market has grown really well, and so has AIA Vietnam. We've grown really well with a big focus on sustainability.
Oh, wow. So it's much different between New Zealand market and also Vietnamese market as well. So did you have any decision or any changes to AIA Vietnam so far that you think that they are essential for the growth and success as today?
Yeah, I think one of the key things in most businesses is the people that are working in the business. Largely the products, the pricing, the proposition. We're always looking to be different in the market. And we've got some great properties. We have a vitality proposition that's all about health and well-being. So we have some great propositions, but the key part is the people culture. Attracting good talent into the business, retaining your key people as well, and developing a culture that's very much people-centric. So we're focused a lot in AIA Vietnam about making sure that our people feel that they're cared for. We work hard, so we want a culture of really pushing ourselves and keeping ourselves out of our comfort zone, but at the same time feeling that you're coached and well developed and empowered at AIA Vietnam.
Exactly. I can't agree with you more. Totally agree with the human resource is most essential part of any organization. All right, so you've been here almost 9 years, as you shared, and since then, AIA business has expanded its footprint a lot and also helped to develop the industry through the very strong connection and also engagement with the local regulators as well.
Right.
And our agency business and also the distribution partnerships, especially during the year of COVID-19, as means 2020 and 2021. Meanwhile, a lot of organizations out there were struggling, but AIA Vietnam still had a lot of success and achievement as well. So I'm concerned, how did you do it? And did you have any special strategy when leading AIA Vietnam through that difficult time?
Look, I think when we think back to COVID-19, it was just such a crazy, unique time for all industries, not just the life insurance, and all countries, not just Vietnam. I mean, I think one of the things when I reflect back, the way that Vietnam got itself organized so positively in response to the pandemic around the vaccination program and the rollout, I think that's a real example to the rest of the world. I think for us, the main thing was making sure that we were continuing to operate. We have an essential role to play in Vietnam, making sure that claims can be paid. So first thing was just making sure that our operation continued throughout Vietnam, because we know our customers need us and we have a vital role to play. I think my team were excellent. You know, this is what was not something that we were prepared for, and the way that everyone stuck through that. I think one thing I would say is, you know, AA is no different to a lot of large companies operating in Vietnam, and Vietnam is a developing country. So there is a role and responsibility for companies like AIA Vietnam to also contribute to the development of the country. And COVID was a good example of that. You know, a lot of people were struggling through that time. So we had a role to play to help people through that time as well. We have a saying in Vietnam, "Duy tot cho Vietnam, tot cho AIA Vietnam." So what's good for Vietnam is good for AIA Vietnam. So we always try and do the best that we can to help Vietnam.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you link the benefits of AIA Vietnam to the national benefit, Vietnamese benefits as well, and you think from the customer point of view, which is cool. And so after 8 years and a half in Vietnam, what are your thoughts about the insurance landscape in Vietnam in general?
Yeah, look, the market, the industry is going through some significant changes, which from a AA perspective are very good changes all around sustainability. There's been quite rapid growth, and we've got to make sure that, you mentioned earlier, that we have a customer focus with everything that we're doing from the industry perspective. So there's a lot of focus around making sure that the customers understand the products that are being sold, that the distribution force, whether that's the agents or the banks or other parties, are very clear on the transparency of the selling process. So there's a lot of change coming in with the new insurance law, which we very much support the MOF's focus in bringing that in. So I think there is a big opportunity in Vietnam. Only 9% of Vietnamese have life insurance. So there's a big opportunity. When you look at some of the other developed markets around the world, that number is a lot higher. So there's a big opportunity to make sure that we're educating as much as we can the benefit and the importance of insurance for Vietnamese families.
Well, so obviously there are a lot of room for expanding in this market and this sectors as well, right? So regarding to the regulator and also the government side, what do you think that the government and also the leaders can do to promote the insurance sector in Vietnam?
I think firstly it's the industry showing the benefits of insurance for customers, for families, and there are many examples that we have for that. Also promoting healthy lifestyles. So it's not just about paying claims, it's also about promoting a more healthy lifestyle. So that's where our vitality proposition at AIA, if I could mention that, comes in, because we recognize and motivate people around health and well-being, mental well-being, healthy lifestyles, exercise, diet, that sort of thing. So I think there's a role for everyone in the industry, including the regulator, including the government, to make sure that we're promoting insurance as much as we can. Then I think it's about highlighting some of those tangible things that happen. So, you know, if we pay a claim, if we see health improvements in the population of Vietnam, we also should be highlighting those enhancements as well.
Yeah, all right. So highlighting enhancement, the purpose and also the benefit of buying and having the life insurance. But at the end of the day, as a lifestyle, healthy lifestyle to everyone in Vietnam. Thank you so much for that. And last but not least, so to all of the foreign investors, also the partners or individuals who are interested in Vietnam. So what is your message to them? So probably it's going to be, for example, heads up or any challenges you can mention, or maybe even the country prospect.
So I think I'd probably answer that question from two different angles. The first thing is, you know, Vietnam is a very attractive place to operate across many industries. The demographics, the economic growth, the opportunity here in Vietnam is very huge. And one of the big things that I've seen is many companies have been operating here for a long time, have been very successful, and we see many more foreign companies coming into Vietnam. So I would encourage as much foreign investment, because it's going to help grow and develop Vietnam as well. From a personal perspective, I think if you're prepared to work hard, you're prepared to be flexible, you're prepared to understand the nuances of the culture and embrace that, it's like anything in life. You put 100% in, you get 100% back. So for me, I think people coming here with a really great attitude about developing the country, they will be successful. There will be a success element in everything that they do. So that was my commentary about the opportunity for investors and also for individuals coming to Vietnam.
Thank you so much for your shared ideas and also the opinions as well. And thanks for your time. Thanks for inviting me here with a coffee, with the very nice vibe and space like this. And I wish you wealth, prosperity, and also continue the leading role in AIA Vietnam. And I hope that you're gonna moving up and get promoted soon, right?
I'm just moving. We have a new role that I'm moving into, the vice chairman of the board, which is a fantastic transition for me. It means more contribution to the company and more contribution to Vietnam. So yeah, thank you for that, and thank you. I enjoyed the chat, and good health, success to you too, Ian.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, so that's the sharing from Mr. Wayne Besant, currently the CEO and soon promoted to the position of Vice Chairman, Board of Director of AIA Vietnam. I hope that you have enjoyed the talk show so far, and hope to see you in other episodes of Vietnam and I on FBNC.